Before we move in, make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and drop a comment with your verdict. If you were the Cleveland Browns front office, when would you hand the offense to Shedeur Sanders, and who should be the core around him? Your take helps steer future coverage, and this is one of the most consequential quarterback conversations of the NFL season. Let's start with what set fans off on Sunday. Cleveland was up big, the rain was falling, the clock was winding down, and plenty of people wanted to see Shedeur Sanders take the fourth quarter snaps. He didn't. Kevin Stefanski has already been clear. He's not inserting the rookie cold for a handful of late handoffs. If Shedeur plays, it will be after a full week of first-team practice with a game plan built for him, not as a cameo closer. And there were logical football reasons to let Dillon Gabriel finish. It was 31-6. The weather was ugly. The last thing you invite in that spot is a needless fumble, a tipped ball pick, or an injury. Beyond that, Gabriel deserved to kneel out his first home win. He's a rookie too. This was only his third professional appearance, and he needs reps. You don't create a controversy when the job is to finish the game healthy and move on. All that said, you can feel the ground shifting under the Browns' quarterback room. Cleveland sits at 2-5. The defense is carrying the load. The offense isn't broken, but it's bland. Dillon Gabriel has been composed, careful, and efficient. Just under 60% completions, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions across 5 appearances. Coaches value that. But safe can become stalled when you're averaging 13 points a game. The explosive play rate is near the bottom of the league. The run game keeps the team on schedule, but it also makes them predictable. That's the tension building in Berea. Protect the ball and stay close, or push the ball and try to change your season's arc. Behind the scenes, Shedeur Sanders is preparing for his chance, and that chance may be closer than most realize. Cleveland.com's Mary Kay Cabot has reported that the Browns' staff, led by Kevin Stefanski, has been quietly grooming Sanders for a mid to late season debut. The target window being discussed, late November into December. Depending on how the next few weeks fall, a first start could line up with a primetime home date against the San Francisco 49ers or one of the AFC North battles that follow. ESPN Cleveland's Tony Rizzo went a step further on air. Multiple sources inside the stadium told him they expect Shedeur to start the final 4 games of the season. Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals, unless the Browns rip off wins straight through the Titans week and force a rethink. That isn't random chatter. That's a club mapping out evaluation time. Why then? Schedule and strategy. Cleveland has New England next, then a bye. That creates a natural pivot point. Hand Shedeur a full week as QB1 after the bye, and you can build a tailored plan, tighten the protections, and set realistic expectations for a rookie debut. It also buys the front office something priceless before the 2026 NFL Draft: data. The Browns hold 2 first-round picks in 2026. Do you spend one on another quarterback, or do you build around what you've got? You can't answer that if Sanders never takes meaningful snaps. The case for Shedeur doesn't start and end with surname. Being Deion Sanders' son is both a spotlight and a weight, and around the league there's been skepticism about what that means in an NFL building. Inside the Browns facility, the tone is different. Teammates and coaches talk about a young pro obsessed with readiness. Myles Garrett says he's seen Sanders in the office at dawn, running tape with Stefanski before most players arrive. David Njoku has called him exceptional in the way he prepares and communicates. According to Cabot, Fridays often find Sanders at Baldwin Wallace University, throwing with college receivers to keep his timing crisp. Work, he organized himself. He's practiced under center, refined his play-action mechanics, drilled RPO footwork, and worked progressions with staff to mirror Stefanski's concepts. One team source put it plainly to Cabot: "You can't fake that kind of commitment. That matters in a locker room. Players know the difference between a prospect coasting on hype and one grinding for a shot." "He's got that calm energy," one teammate said privately. "When he talks, guys listen. When he throws, you see the difference." That isn't a referendum on Gabriel so much as an endorsement of what Sanders brings: a different profile. Gabriel is the system steerer, a coach's peace of mind. Shedeur is the volatility, the potential to tilt a game with an improvisation, a deep strike, a broken play that turns into 6. The Browns have been careful for months. There's an argument that it's time to be bold. Cleveland's quarterback history makes this more urgent. Since 1999, the Browns have started more than 30 different quarterbacks. That instability isn't a trivia note. It's a culture story. The organization thought it found stability with Deshaun Watson. Off-field controversy and inconsistent on-field returns frayed that belief. So they took a two-rookie swing. Gabriel, picked higher, looks like the future system quarterback type. Accurate, controlled, predictable. Sanders, drafted later, is the emotional outlier, the playmaker with swagger who could inject life into a stagnant offense and a jaded fan base. The fans are part of this. There's no hostility in the building. There's impatience in the stands. Orange and brown still fill the seats. The dog pound still roars. But this city is starving for a pulse on offense. When ESPN's Aaron Goldhammer joked after the 31-6 win over Miami that, if you're listing everyone who helped you win that game, Dillon Gabriel comes in what? 33rd? Right behind the punter? He wasn't attacking a rookie. He was describing a reality. Cleveland won because of defense and the run game, not because the offense scared anyone. In the modern NFL, that's a limited formula. San Francisco, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, those aren't teams that let you noodle your way to 17-14 wins every week. The Browns need electricity. They need a reason to make defenses back off. They need someone fans can believe in on offense again. If and when Shedeur takes over, expect a philosophical shift. Stefanski's base approach is control, run-heavy, possession football, play-action shots off condensed formations, clock management, minimize risk, maximize field position. Sanders is wired differently. His Colorado film shows a quarterback with a quick trigger, rhythm passing, a willingness to hunt deep, and the athleticism to salvage plays when protection breaks. His best traits: pocket poise under pressure, layered touch to the perimeter, a knack for making secondary reads matter, match the skill sets of Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, and David Njoku. Those pieces are in the building. What's missing is ignition. There's also the political piece, and it's not the one people assume. No, this isn't Boost Dion's brand in Cleveland. This is about a franchise finally behaving like it's building something coherent. That means consistency in message and method. If Stefanski says Shedeur won't play until he has a full week as the starter and a design tailored to him, that's the standard. The worst move you could make is to parachute him into garbage time and call it development. That satisfies nobody and teaches nothing. The right move is what the staff seems to be setting up. Identify an inflection point, build toward it, and commit to seeing it through. Still, there are risks. The locker room has to be held together, not split by the change. Gabriel deserves respect and clarity. The messaging to the team can't be, "We're throwing darts now." It has to be, "We're evaluating a talent we believe can give us a higher ceiling while we still play to win every Sunday." The protections have to be tailored. The run game has to stay a friend, not a crutch. The defense can't feel abandoned by a sudden pivot to hero ball. That's on Stefanski, Alex Van Pelt, and staff. Then there's the schedule. If the reports hold, the Browns' plan through the Titans week sets up a finishing stretch. Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals. That is both a trial by fire and a sample large enough to be meaningful. Chicago's defense will challenge a young QB's patience. Buffalo's structure forces you to make grown-up throws into split safety looks. Pittsburgh brings disguised pressure and simulated creepers that test protection calls. Cincinnati wins with match coverage and rush lanes that demand timing. Those are data-rich games. If Shedeur can move the offense in those environments, you learn something real. If he struggles, you still learn something real before a draft that gives you flexibility. A word about the fan fascination with timelines. You can't rush a quarterback just to appease a mood. The most persuasive argument for a late November or early December handoff is that it's both deliberate and urgent. It gives Sanders a runway to prepare as QB1 and gives the organization a genuine look. It also gives the rookie a fair shot to succeed rather than a cameo blown up by circumstances not of his making. What about the here and now? In the interim, the Browns have to keep winning the way they did against Miami. Defense strangling drives, the run game bludgeoning, special teams clean. That buys time. It also buys credibility. When you make a quarterback transition from a position of competence, not desperation, the locker room hears it differently. And if you beat New England heading into the bye, You give yourself the breathing room to install something new over 10 days without a save the season tone. Let's address the myth that this is only about the name. It's not. Inside NFL buildings, you don't win jobs with viral clips. You win them the boring way, by stacking days. That's why the details about Sanders matter. The early mornings with Stefanski. The Friday timing sessions, the under-center footwork. The RPO mechanics molded to this playbook. Those aren't Instagram moments. Those are the unglamorous reps that make a young quarterback functional on Sunday. It's also why veteran leaders are buying in quietly. People in that locker room have lived the Browns' quarterback carousel. They want a reason to believe the ride stops here. There's another angle that shouldn't be underestimated: identity. The Browns have the bones of a team you don't want to see in December. Violent defense, a run game that travels, a crowd that can still make your headset buzz. What they haven't had, even during solid stretches, is an offensive identity you can articulate in a sentence. Teams that matter can tell you exactly who they are with the ball in under 5 words. Who are the Browns? That's what this decision is ultimately about. If Shedeur Sanders becomes the starter, it's not just a jersey change. It's the organization saying, this is the type of offense we want to be. If it's Gabriel, the staff has to turbocharge what that looks like to avoid predictable gridlock. No more drifting between philosophies week to week. Now the stakes. Cleveland holds 2 first-round picks in 2026. That's the kind of capital that can accelerate a rebuild or turbocharge a core. But it's only power if you know what you already have at quarterback. If Sanders plays and shows he's the guy, those picks become ammunition to surround him. If he plays and you're not convinced, you have your mandate. Take another swing at the position at the top of the board and reshape the timeline around it. What you cannot do is reach March 2026 still guessing. What does success look like for Sanders if he gets the nod this year? It's not just raw stat lines. It's command, clean operation in and out of the huddle, consistent timing, protection set, the ball out on time. It's flashes. 2 or 3 moments a game where you see the arm talent and feel the offense breathe differently. It's resilience, handling mistakes without unraveling. It's galvanizing. Teammates playing faster because they trust the guy under center to make the right decision or to create when the play breaks. Those are boxes that tell you more than 300 yards against a prevent defense. And what about Gabriel? He hasn't failed. He's just not yet inspired. That's not a criticism. It's a description of where the offense is. The reality is that the Browns can hold 2 truths at once. Dillon Gabriel deserved to finish the Miami game, and Shedeur Sanders deserves a start with a full week of prep when the team chooses its window. One protects the present. The other clarifies the future. Every fan base has a breaking point for patience, and Cleveland has lived through more QB turbulence than most. But the drums still thunder. The seats still fill. The hope is still there. That's why Sanders represents more than a depth chart move. He's a chance to turn a page without throwing away what's already built. Not a savior, not a marketing hook. A young quarterback who has done everything asked of him to earn a real look. Here's what comes next. Beat the Patriots. Heal up during the bye. If the plan is a late November handoff, say so privately inside the building and then keep your public messaging steady. We prepare our quarterbacks to play winning football. We will do what gives the Browns the best chance to win and to grow. If the plan is to roll with Gabriel until the math changes, then you build around that choice. More motion, more quick game, more shot plays off heavy looks that give him clean windows. Either way, the front office owes this city and its locker room a direction. Because somewhere in the early morning hours at the facility, Shedeur Sanders is already doing what the next quarterback of the Cleveland Browns should do, preparing like his number will be called. And when it is, the story won't be about a famous last name. It will be about whether the Browns finally found what they've chased for 2 decades, stability at the most important position in sports. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of fan we want to hear from. Should the Browns give Shedeur the post-bye start, or hold until the last 4 games regardless? Who are your core offensive pieces to build around in 2025? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if you want more straight talk on Cleveland Browns news and rumors, and subscribe so you don't miss our deep dive the moment the coaching staff tips its hand. The clock is ticking in Cleveland. It's time to pick a lane.